spoilers for She-Hulk episode 8. The way episode 8 ended, I'm hyped for episode 9, I guess, because episode 8 did its job. She-Hulk has another case. Her client is suing Luke Jacobson, who is the tailor that tailors like actual clothes, but then also like tailors like, you know, the super suits. The client for She-Hulk actually was one of his clients, but his superhero name is Guard Frog. If any of you guys are familiar with that character from Marvel Comics or whatever, let me know down in the comment section below, because I'm like, yo, like, I don't know this character. He has like these rocket boosters or whatever in his suit. They burned up, so he got 3rd-degree burns. He went to She-Hulk, and therefore, like, he wants to sue Luke. She's kind of at first adverse to taking on this client because she's kind of like, look, I don't want to mess up that connection that I have with Luke because he makes all my suits. She doesn't have any other tailors that can tailor her suit. So she talks to her boss about it. He says, nah, we can't do that because literally her client parents are like clients of the firm and they're rich, and you know how that goes. She talks to Luke. She goes to Luke, talks to him about it. He's like my is impeccable, bro. My is magnifique. She-Hulk talks to him. He disagrees. He's like, nah. So he's like, you know what? I'm cutting you off as a client. So now Luke is in court. She-Hulk is obviously representing Guard Frog in court, though Luke is getting represented by Matt Murdock. Of course, as you know, Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Daredevil is a part of the MCU now, you know, via No Way Home. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure Matt is representing him because he is Daredevil. Luke does his suits. They start the case. Jennifer talks about Guard Frog and like what he did, and basically talking about how his suit malfunctioned. Essentially, Guard Frog starts talking and stuff. They get back and forth, and then Luke kind of talks about like, look, never mess up. My suits are great. Like they never have any issues. And then Matt Murdock kind of makes a comment where it's like, yeah, like his suits are like, you know, his suits are like that. So they kind of talk for a bit. Everyone says their pieces. And then Matt asks Guard Frog like, hey, what was in like your I don't know if it's called like his rocket booster or whatever, the thing that helps him fly, like what did you use for it? Guard Frog said, I use jet fuel. So then basically Luke is like, listen, it's clear in the instructions of your super suit that you can't do that. Of course the suit got burned. Matt and Luke win the case. She-Hulk is pissed, and now she done f***ed up her connection with Luke all over this shit. At the end of the day, she has a job to do, and that was her job, and that kind of messed that up. Now Jen is at the bar. You know, Jen goes to the bar and whatnot. So she goes to the bar. Someone buys her a drink. Guess who buys her a drink? Matt Murdock. They piece it up because Jen was a little bit salty about losing the case, and because he was just like, because Matt was just that good. Basically, Daredevil gives She-Hulk some advice, both legal advice and hero advice. Unwarranted, but definitely needed. Like Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk, same person. Everyone knows that. Matt Murdock, Daredevil, same person. Not everyone knows that. Matt tells She-Hulk that when society has failed a client, use the law. But when the law has failed a client, be the hero, superhero. Basically, he's just saying the same thing that he does. Like, if you've seen all of Daredevil, then you know that's literally what he does. You can tell Jen really takes it to heart. You can tell that they both have like some chemistry. There's a tease there. I'm like, bro, I can already see it. They definitely have chemistry. So they have that conversation. Matt gets a call. He has to leave. She-Hulk, it's a text message from one of her clients. And after Matt's call, Matt's like, yo, I gotta go. She got a text message too, so she kind of played it off like, yeah, I have to take care of some stuff too. So she goes to her client, Todd. I don't know if you guys remember Todd, but Todd was the one that was basically like, he wants She-Hulk specimen, if you know what I'm saying, which is, it's creepy. It's super creepy, bro. It's just weird. It's weird. Anyways, he's like, oh, I'm glad I got this like Wakanda spear. It cost me $1 million. I love collecting all this African stuff. Da 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 da. And then he was like, Wakanda forever. And She-Hulk was literally like very uncomfortable. And he still wants her, so he's still pressing on her. And she's just like, nah. She leaves. Like causes a bit of a scene, but honestly, it's warranted. Like. She gets a phone call from her client, Guard Frog, still, even though like he's not really her client anymore, He's being attacked. Jen turns into She-Hulk. Now She-Hulk is out. She-Hulk finds him because he gave her his location. She gets here just in time, and you will not believe who is attacking him. Daredevil. So they end up fighting, and like he's dodging everything because this is Daredevil, bro. This is Daredevil. Daredevil is literally just fighting, like just dodging everything that she's throwing at him. Literally, like she got to a certain point where she literally just threw a car at him. She-Hulk grabs Daredevil, and he's like, Jen, and she can hear, and it's like, oh, and she finds out like Matt is Daredevil. But yeah, basically Guard Frog kidnapped Luke. So now essentially they have to go save Luke. So fast forwarding, they get to Guard Frog's lair. They enter doing it Daredevil style, but with the first wave of enemies. Let's do it like if this is zombies or something. In the first wave of enemies, like Daredevil takes them out. The second wave shows up, She-Hulk takes them out. Of course, Daredevil did it in his own stealthy way, you know, throwing the baton, all that stuff. You know that. If you know Daredevil, you know that. She-Hulk just kind of jumped in when the wave showed up. She came in right at the right time, took them all out, and there you go. Pretty much it was done. So they got into the lair. They're fighting the rest of the goons. They confront Guard Frog, and Guard Frog is basically just like he wants a new suit. Like he literally captured him just to get a new suit. Obviously, Daredevil and Jen save the day. They save Luke. Luke is saved. Guard Frog actually tried to escape during all that. He jumped out of the window. You hear him kind of like screaming or like groaning or whatever. You kind of like, it sounded like he hurt himself basically. So in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, he's not going nowhere. It's pretty much done at that point. Skip to the scene now. The police is here. He's being put on a stretcher to go to the hospital basically. And Jen obviously is communicating with, you know, the police officers and stuff. And Daredevil's gone because Daredevil isn't one to stick around for the police. So she talks with them, has a brief convo, like a very, very brief convo with like Luke. And basically now they're back on good terms. Now, Jen gets to the roof because that's obviously where Daredevil is, brooding, looking over all that stuff that's going on. Him and Jen, they're talking, they're flirting, like you see the chemistry there. You can see the chemistry there. So of course you know what happened next. They go do the, you know, get intimate. Daredevil's walking out, doing the walk of shame in his suit with the boots off. That shit was She-Hulk / Jen's best friend. She pulls up, talks about seeing like Daredevil walking away. You know, Jen's like, yeah, that's me. But yeah, so like you can tell Jen had a great time. Now it's time for the gala. Nikki pulls up so that they can get ready for the gala. But there is a theory going around that Nikki Ramos might be like, she might be a witch because she wore a pentagram necklace, and I believe it was episode 6 or 7. And she kind of broke the fourth wall very, 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 very briefly. She broke the fourth wall very briefly. Literally, just like that. The slightest thing, the slightest. She could be tied to Agatha Harkness in some way, so maybe she's part of her coven or something like that. And Jen kind of has this moment again where she breaks the fourth wall talking to us, and she's like, whoa, it's the season, it's the next episode. It's like, oh, like the gala, it's already here. Does this mean the next episode is the season finale? Is there going to be a twist or something? And then like from around the corner, that's when Nikki kind of jumps out. I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? Like get to the gala. Jen is there in that, she's there in that dress that you see from the trailer. Her, Nikki, and Jen's parents are at this gala. Essentially what they're doing is, the point of this gala is to honor like female lawyers. So they get to their table at the gala. But yeah, so they all go on stage. They all give their speeches. They get to Jen. Jen starts talking about like, she starts actually, you know, being humble. And then, so they have like this projector behind them. Then this Hulk thing pops up on the projecting screen. And she kind of keeps talking, her mic goes out, and then the video starts going, and it starts saying some stuff about like, She-Hulk, she doesn't deserve her power, she stole it from the Hulk. And I'm just like, bro, like, y'all don't know what y'all are talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. So I start to get a little bit annoyed while I'm watching that, as I'm sure She-Hulk is getting a little bit annoyed too. We get to the scene where She-Hulk, you know, when She-Hulk finally let Josh into her apartment, it was just Jen appearing as herself. So they show the scene where like Josh and her are getting intimate, and you can tell like he put a camera there or something like that, and I'm just like, oh, I started really feeling bad for She-Hulk. Yeah, so like they start showing that obviously She-Hulk starts getting upset. By the way, her dad is literally filming this whole thing. He's filming the whole speech. So when that comes up, obviously he puts his camera down. Then She-Hulk kind of she looks around. She's like, what the heck? Like, what the hell is going on? She hulks out. Like, she doesn't really physically touch anyone, but like she just destroys the projecting screen. Like, she destroys that, like, basically, because it's like, yo, they're showing her getting intimate, and like now she's pissed. I'm pissed with her because I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck? Like, you don't ever try to disrespect a woman like that. And the way that they executed that was like perfect. Like, now the whole Gala building was coming down, and the electricity like went off, and she starts to see like people are evacuating because they put on the emergency lights. Then she sees a couple of these guys wearing masks, and she goes after one of them, smashes her way outside of the building. Of course, there she catches him, but then she's found by like she's surrounded by, I don't want to say the police, but I'm gonna just say the superhero police, because it looks like they have weapons that are meant to neutralize, like, you know, any sort of enhanced or gifted or superpowered individuals, basically. And yeah, like, she kind of has to give up and just submit herself and just be like, look, like, you know. And that's kind of where it ends. So it's like, that was a twist there. So it's gonna be interesting going into the season finale, because like, it was good. It was good. Like, this was a good episode. If anything, this was probably the best episode of the entire season. Yeah. Okay, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like. Also, if you just have any more thoughts you want to share on She-Hulk, if you guys have any more thoughts on She-Hulk and want to just have a conversation about it, let's start one down in the comment section down below. And yeah, She-Hulk episode 9 review coming next week, so definitely subscribe for that and so much more. Anyways, peace.